All right, grab your journal, notebook, diary, whatever you use, and let's go ahead and craft together. By the way, thank you so much for all of your supportive feedback, suggestions, comments, heartfelt encouragement in my last video. I did not think that the majority of you would be interested in this junk journal thing that I'm doing here, getting rid of all of my ephemera and compiling them in some type of book form. But here we are, and yeah, it kind of reminds me of like that meme, one of us. Okay, I feel seen, I feel validated. I'm not the only weirdo that collects, random junk mailer and paper bits and ephemera. I mean, I know I wasn't, but I feel like on my end it was a little bit more extreme because I have boxes and boxes and years full of ephemera. So we're going to kickstart this junk journal session, and I just had my dinner. I'm unwinding in this evening, and this is typically it's usually in the afternoon, early afternoon or late evenings that I find myself getting very crafty. But the journal that I'm kind of switching up into, it's still a composition notebook, but it's a different version. I'll link this down below if you're interested in it. The main difference is that instead of it being lined pages, I am going with blank. I mean, I've had this notebook before, but again, if you are someone that really likes to journal with dark gel or with markers or with fountain pen inks, this may not be the one for you. And it's made in the USA, and in my experience, I still have yet to come across paper made in the USA that holds up really, really well with dark gel inks and fountain pen inks. So anytime I see a notebook made in USA, I know that the paper is typically recycled paper, and it's going to be thin, and it's usually just great for pencil and ballpoint pens, which, if you know, I don't mind using ballpoint pens. I already started a couple of pages here. Hope you don't mind, but it got me thinking, oh, you know what? Let me go ahead and turn on the camera and show you guys my next process, because this is a step that I feel like maybe some of you want to see. And to me, I just think it's maybe boring, but to some of you out there, you might find this helpful or inspiring. I'm going to wrap the cover because I don't like this marbled look. I know a lot of people, they like it. They find this composition style unique and interesting, but it reminds me of school, and it reminds me of just being forced to write in these notebooks. I did not like these notebooks in school. So here we are. I'm going to set the Staples one aside, but if you know that you're going to use your journal maybe not as much with the ephemera and the junk like paper bits, then you might want the lined pages, because maybe your journal entries will be focused on like long form writing. I know myself, and my journal practice really consists of more just kind of mixed art mediums like paint and paper scraps, collages, maybe light sketches here and there, and stamping. So let's go ahead and begin, shall we? This is a practice that I kind of like to do when I find myself in a slump. And I have been in a slump, but we'll get to that in a minute. First, covering this notebook, what I do, I go through my treasure chest. I call them my treasure chest, and they're really just the box or the boxes that hold all of the paper ephemera that I've been collecting, or also known as hoarding, holding on to. Here's an example of just some paper that I found in one of my boxes. And if you ever come across magazines or books, but you don't want the actual booklet to take up a lot of room, you can just rip out the actual pages. I always get this mailer here, this In Touch like devotional mailer. I think it's like a Daily Bread, but their covers, like The covers are always so beautiful. So I really look forward to receiving this because it's so colorful. They're so beautiful, but I don't really care to keep the actual booklet. I mean, I've been collecting these for a few years now. I think this one says I got 2024. So instead, I'll just rip it and then I'll just keep the actual image that I want. And that's another way that you can kind of minimize all of the quote unquote junk, is just keep the actual image or the paper from that magazine or that booklet that you want. You don't actually have to hold on to the whole thing. So as you can see, I have a lot of images here. Or if you come across those mailers in the mailbox or junk mail, again, instead of keeping the whole pamphlet or the advertisement, just cut out the piece that you were drawn to and then just add it to your treasure chest. You can see even here, I cut out like this tiny little square, this rectangle of the sunset, and yeah, this is all I needed because I know this part is what I was drawn to. Here's some other examples that I kept, but you can see it was part of a brochure, but I didn't need that full, booklet. And I was drawn to this beautiful like galaxy color. And what's nice about, holding on to junk mail is that a lot of these advertisements are in color. So you're not using up all of your color ink or having to get it printed out. If you just keep your eyes open, you come across art magic every day that you can just incorporate within your own journal spread and then just journal around it. Like, how beautiful is this with the red rocks? And then this is a magazine. This is like just a mailer, but I found the imagery just so beautiful. So this is just another snippet of things that, I hold on to and I collect. Like, look how beautiful this is. I thought about using this front part for my cover, adding it like this right here, and then I could just cover this health part with something else. Like, wow, look how beautiful that would look. But I think I want to take a different approach, which is what I'm about to share with you. However, look on the inside. This cactus here is so pretty. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to add this in the inside. So I'm just going to go ahead and tear this out. And here's another picture that I held on to. You can see this was from last year, and this was from the USPS. They had like this booklet of stamps that were being released, and how beautiful are these flowers. So I can just cut these out here and add them somewhere. I thought about at first using these here for my cover, but I'm just going to put these off to the side and I'll revisit that. Now, before I show you how I plan on designing this, or decorating the cover, I should say, if you don't have junk mail, or if you maybe are just starting to collect right now and you don't have your treasure chest full, that's okay too. If you're following along and you want to decorate your cover, it doesn't have to be a composition notebook. It could be, whatever type of notebook you like. Aside from just sticking on like stickers to decorate your cover or to customize it, you can still use your own creative art, I would say. And I've done this in the past. I don't have examples right now, my other composition notebooks to show you, but some of you may recall in my past videos, I would share some of my junk journals. I think I'll leave a link down below where I'm talking about composition notebooks, and you'll see some of the covers that I've designed. And that process is really just creating my own art. In the past, when I didn't have all of this ephemera to go through, this practice is also really good if you're kind of like in a slump and you just don't feel like writing, you don't feel like maybe doing anything, but you're still itching to somehow like create or to get that creative energy out. This, I could tell just by looking at these watercolor pages, I was in a slump. But this is kind of like my form of therapy. So I will get, just regular printer paper, Doesn't have to be fancy. You can see this other side is white. I will get regular printer paper, get my student grade gouache and watercolor, meaning it's nothing fancy or special. It's, you know, typically the paint that I've been using are just basic student grade paint from Michael's Arts Supply Store, because it's, you know, it's very budget friendly. You're paying no more than like $5, $6, $7, $8 for all of this variety. And I will just get basic printer paper, just, you know, your basic printer paper, nothing fancy again. And I'll just get my brush and just play around. Have no expectations of the outcome. I'll just splash on and layer colors. So here I have a little bit of black with turquoise and yellow. This is already a couple years old. You can see here I had fun, you know, kind of adding different like purple and then like browns. And then right here I ripped this because I think I used that as like a collage bit. Right here I used a grocery bag, and then I experimented to see how the watercolor and the gouache would look on top of that. And then here you could see again printer paper. So again, sometimes if you just don't feel like writing or you feel like nothing exciting happened, you can still create and be in the flow of, you know, making art. To me, this is still like being creative and artistic. I'm just having fun with colors, with paint. There have been times too when I was in a creative little rut, I would say, where I wouldn't use words, but I would use color and create like collages. Right here, this piece reminds me of that, where I would just rip out my own paintings and then I would just challenge myself to make, you know, like a collage scene out of this. I thought about using this on my cover as well. This watercolor has like a little bit of a metallic splash. Here what I did was when I watercolored this, I just kind of crinkled it a little bit and I added some more paint and then it created this beautiful effect. And I thought for a split second using this on my cover. Wouldn't that look pretty? But I already know what I'm going to use instead. I just want to show you some ideas. So if you don't have any, you know, junk mail to use, don't be discouraged. You can make your own, you know, pretty pieces of layers, I would say. And this is just regular. See, this was nothing, but I still held on to this even though this was really like nothing beautiful or pretty. I thought, oh, I could use this and tip it in my journal and just write on top of it. Oh, another idea is I've shown this on my Patreon too, with acrylic. I had the main copy where I used like an acrylic paint set, and then I got some tissue paper here and then some of the craft paper, and I really liked the way that turned out, so much so that I scanned it and I turned it into like my main like digital copy, and I printed this on sticker, like label paper. So you can actually just peel this and stick it on to any size notebook. Again, it doesn't have to be composition. It could be A6 size, you know, your Moleskine. It could be anything really, your Hobonichi. But because this is it's on, you know, sticker paper, this whole thing now can become a cover. I can stick that on there and it would transform my cover. So for a split second, I considered using this and adding it on there. Actually, I could still go that route. No, I think I'm gonna stick to the original plan, which is using this. This is physical junk. It was in my treasure chest. I have to use it. I feel like I need to get it out. I need to get it out of the way because it's taking up room. And I ordered something on eBay and it came from the UK, and I just held on to it because it has like all of these stamps that I need to peel off on this other side. But I loved the look of this wrinkled paper bag. And, oh, you can even see right here, it says UK. I think what I'm going to do, let me just cut this I think this is going to be the chosen cover. I like this part right here where it has like the tape. I mean, I could use this side. That would look a lot neater and cleaner, but I like this look, like with the tape, the lines, the wrinkles. Yeah, because it looks like a package. Opening it up, it's larger than the actual cover, which is going to work out great for me, because what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to actually just fold this over and layer it so that way, yeah, it pretty much covers it all. But first, before I do that, I'm going to take you through my process. Oh, hold on, where's all this? Of the inside. And if you are choosing to junk journal as well, let me know what journal you've chosen. Did you pick out a composition notebook? Are you using maybe a different brand or different size? Or maybe you're just observing for now. Okay. Oh wait, I already ripped that out. Yeah. So let me grab, hold on, where did I put it? I think what I'm going to do in these upcoming junk journal videos, I might do like a Q&A, questions and answers, and that way as I'm journaling I can answer some questions, and that way it's also, you know, informative along with maybe creative for you. Okay, just playing around with the placement. I like, because this is bigger than the composition, so my placement, I want the full sky. All right, so this part is where I'm going to have to cut it off. I'm just going to get my glue stick here. Now you can use, you know, any type of glue stick that you have. In my experience, the glue that I find works the strongest with paper is the Elmer's Extra Strength, but also one of you lovely Instagram friends recommended this glue stick here, this Uhu stick from Germany. And thank you, Sherry, for the recommendation. She's a junk journaler. She said, oh, this glue's the best if you haven't tried it, because she saw my Elmer's in the last video. And yes, Sherry, thank you so much. I picked some up. So I will link this down below. I found a 2-pack, which I thought was a pretty good deal. And I'm just going to cover this. I don't like the table here, the times table or the class table that composition notebooks always have. So I'm just going to make sure I cover that, because to me it's just going to be too distracting. And I'm just going to line up like this. And there we go. I'm gonna fold this over, and then you can see I have right here this extra bit, which is fine because actually, you know, I can just technically rip it. This is actually a lot easier. Like that. I'll try to do weekly updates, by the way, of how this junk journal is coming along. But like I always say, and I always, you know, stress this, don't expect, you know, anything life-changing when it comes to my artistic spreads. These aren't really, they're just meant for me, for just a creative outlet, you know, to get me out of that slump, just when I'm feeling down and I just want to just do something creative. I'm not really creating these for a following. I'm not creating these to sell an art course. I'm not selling these. I mean, I'm not creating this to teach you, really. It's just sharing my process, and you just observing my me just tipping in like bits and bobs here. But hopefully this shows you, it doesn't have to be fancy. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of go with the flow. I think that's part of the fun. I think that's why in the past I never really shared much of my journal spreads, or I never really did more like journal with me's, because I don't know, I just felt like maybe they were too basic, too simple, too silly. I love how this looks already. You see this beautiful, and this color is so vibrant from the mailer that I got. Now as we go with the cover, you know what? Okay, I have to show you this beautiful fabric piece. Hold on. Korean cotton. It said Korean premium cotton quilting. It's from Michaels, but I was drawn to the design. Tell me this isn't beautiful. Wow. How pretty is this? That is, to me, I thought that was so pretty, especially for like the summer or like the spring. So just imagine I had it wrapped in that. Isn't that so pretty? Yeah, I've been holding on to this, waiting for like the right notebook. I could use this for my composition, but I might reserve that for when I know that my junk style has been a little bit more, I don't know, maybe refined. So going back to using this actual junk, I could, let me rip the rest of this. Actually, I'm going to cover this anyway, so it won't matter. But now how we're going to do this, okay, now for the back side, because obviously this isn't enough to cover the back side. And while I could use the other side of that mailer, it already has, pieces that I've cut out. So I actually have another bubble mailer from some snail mail that I got from a pen pal, and the color is not exactly the same, but it won't really matter because it's going to be on the back side, and I'm just going to cut this part and glue it there. So I'm going to try to match it. I like this line here, so while I could hide it, but then the feather post would be here. Yeah, I'm going to align this where the feather post will go. Okay. All right. So let's get this Mod Podge. And by the way, this tablecloth, it's actually like a thrifted tablecloth that I got, but I only use it for like big projects like these where I'm painting, or if I'm using like a lot of glue and I don't want to get my table dirty or stained. So get, some type of padding or special, protection here for you. Let me get my brush, by the way. Again, these are student grade brushes, nothing special. These are from Michaels, the variety pack. And Michaels always has coupons, which is great. Okay, I'm just trying to get a feel of what would distribute the Mod Podge the easiest. Probably this one. And let me get some water. The thing with Mod Podge is that you want to rinse your brush, the bristles, immediately, because it will harden, and I've made the mistake of forgetting, and then it's pretty much like it's sealed because it's a glue, so it will seal those bristles. Not Brussels sprouts, bristles. Bristles. But I'd like to know if you have been going through a slump as well, or maybe you've gone through a slump in the past. How did you find yourself getting out of that slump? Was it through journaling? Was it through some type of artistic practice? Maybe did you take on a particular sport? Was it a book that helped you get out of a slump or get out of that slumpish season? Was it a game? Was it a TV series? I talked about, remember last year, maybe it's a seasonal thing for me, because I remember last year, I'm going to cover this spine, by the way. I remember last year during the summer, I was talking about being in a slump as well. I'll link that video down below. And coincidentally, I think I was junk journaling. So maybe during the summer, something about, maybe it's the heat. It just drains my energy. Maybe it's because I'm doing a lot during the summer, and it just depletes my my willpower, I guess. Just feel like doing the bare minimum. Some days I just don't even feel like cooking or eating. I'm just like, ugh, tired. Life is just lifing. All right, let me see. Okay, I'm kind of just playing around with the positioning. Okay. It sticks on pretty well, so I gotta make sure I kind of work fast. And then what I'm gonna do, get the corners, the edges. Okay, I'm gonna flip this over now. But do you remember last year when I was in that slump? I was all into Outlander. That's when I discovered Outlander. Oh my goodness. The show first, before the book. I didn't even realize it was a book until in the little intro it says by the book. Inspired by the book. But oh my gosh, I was in love with Outlander. I still am, by the way. But I haven't passed season, I think I'm on season 5, episode 3. I'm taking my time. I don't want to rush it. But there's a new series, kind of like a spin-off series, that's coming out next month in August. And oh yeah, I'm excited to watch that. So right now, my cozy, like, comfort watch, I don't really watch a lot of TV. I watch YouTube just because I find it more, like, entertaining, also informational. But I got my friend got me back into Downton Abbey. I watched like the first 3 episodes like years ago, and I just couldn't get into it. It just didn't find me at the right time. But now I'm into it. I'm going through this phase where I really like historical themes and historical fiction. Yeah. Okay, so as you can see, I am just covering this edge right here because it will, actually, hold on. I don't want all of this, but I want it to fold over the cover so I don't have to worry about it peeling. So I'm just gonna get my finger, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get this, hold on, something. This is like a split layer from the top. Okay, let me fix this. Yeah, but my slump that helped me, or what helped me get out of the slump, well, last year was a little bit more of like junk journaling again, but then reading. I really just picked up reading last year, as I'm always saying, and I've been enjoying that. But lately I've just been kind of in a reading slump as well, because I got so into reading that I rushed through like my favorite genres, and now all of the books I'm able to recognize the patterns, like the plot. Okay, there's going to be the main male character, and you know the female main character is going to be like a bratty lady, and there's always some type of witty side banter, and it's kind of like getting predictable. Or maybe it's just with the fantasy niche or genre that I'm into. Red Rising, I read that recently. I really enjoyed that. And The Will of the Many was one of my favorite reads as well for this year. I haven't had a lot of great, like, impressionable reads. Direbound on Kindle Unlimited was a good time. But I would say for now it's just Red Rising and The Will of the Many. Let me know if you guys are readers and anything interesting you've been catching up on. I'm going to get this wet just because I don't want this Mod Podge to be too stiff. Again, this is just my quirky thing. You don't have to do this. I don't want it to be stiff underneath. And also I want this to, because this is paper, I want it to be like sealed. And because it has like a little bit of this Mod Podge, I feel like it would be sealed. And this paper will like won't rip. But you know, now that I think about it, I should have considered if I was going to add or paint on top of this. No, I think I'm gonna keep it like this for now. All right, so the back side, oh, you know what? This is wet. I did not think this through. See, you guys, I'm just going with the flow here. So you're just watching me, hold on, I'm cutting the back of this. You're just watching me doing this in real time. And usually I'll have like a YouTube video on, kind of like what you are doing right now. And I'll just kind of craft along or listen to like an audiobook. Oh, speaking of audiobook, I am listening to one and reading along. Binding 13. Yeah, I'm still kind of like in the beginning of that. A friend recommended that book. So what I'll do during the day, if I'm, you know, when I'm commuting or if I'm driving, I'll listen to the audiobook. And then at night, like when I'm cooking dinner or if I'm cleaning, doing the dishes, I'll listen to the audiobook. And then at in the evening when I'm going to bed, in the bed, I'll turn on the Kindle. So that's how I'm able to like get through books so much faster, because I kind of do like a little, is it like a tandem read? Like I'll do both. I'll do like the audio version and then the actual reading. Okay, so for this bubble mailer, it actually has this bubble part, which I thought was going to be easy to peel off. But it's not looking that easy. However, oh, it could be extra. Oh, I kind of like how it's like cushiony. Extra cushion here. Okay, let's flip this. All right, so you can see I still need to cover a little bit of that. So I'm going to grab, I'm going to grab the mailer here from the UK. And sorry, I just don't want to show their address because it's written on the other side. One moment. I'm only going to cut enough to cover right there. That's all I really need. Yeah, and that could kind of work. Wow, this cover is looking really junky. But it's fun, right? Okay. One of my favorite craft supplies that I've been enjoying has been my paint, like my gouache paint and my watercolor paint, because it adds color to your journal pages and it, you know, makes it look a little extra, but it doesn't require you to, like, you know, add any stickers to it, and you can still write over it technically if you wanted to. Let me know if there's a supply, like a journaling supply, or just even like a stationery supply that you're loving. Again, I think I'm going to do some Q&A. A Q&A. I'm going to go through all of, I have an album like on my phone of all of the questions I've received throughout the years. I really should go through that. Or if you guys want to submit a question down below, feel free. It's not too personal. I'll try to include it. Or if it's crafty related, yeah, feel free to leave it down below and we could do a little Q&A. Okay, let me see. I think I'm liking how this is coming together. So, wow. You are seeing this messy chaos unfold You see how like my process is? That's why I was kind of shy and reluctant to share this process, because you guys, I'm not like a professional junk journaler, okay? Speaking of junk journal, I have seen, you know, with my algorithm, I have seen and been suggested beautiful junk journaling videos throughout the years, you know, like the last 5-6 years, because I've always been into junk journaling. And I have some beautiful junk journalers from some artists. I'll have to share those with you in another time. But to me, they're not really junk journals. They're like works of art. I don't even think they should call it a junk journal. It should be called a beautiful art journal. But some of these ladies, wow. And men. But mostly it's the ladies that I come across, that I see that have like, they have like embroidered pieces. They use their sewing machine. I don't even see a stitch of junk on there. Like, I'm like, no, that's beautiful art. And another reason why I was really hesitant to share literally like my process, because I just didn't feel like this fits in, you know? Okay. I think that's good. That's good for now. And then I'm going to seal it here. I guess getting it wet with this water is kind of helping the bristle kind of wash itself a little bit, but I'm going to rinse this off in the sink. Again, why am I doing this? So that way it seals the paper a bit better and it's less likely to like rip or tear. Because again, this Mod Podge, it's like a glue. This is the matte, by the way. Yeah, I'll link it if you're interested. But I got this just like at Michael's. What I would recommend though, before you seal it, if you know you want to add like stickers or a label on there, you know, do all that first. Or maybe if you want to get like crayon or paint, do that first and then put the seal on there. But I don't really think I'm going to do any of that. Oh, you know what? I didn't even realize. Hold on. I should have stuck something in between this. Yep. Dang it. Well, I guess mistakes happen. Oh, no. Dang it. I didn't even think this was still wet. And then I should have put something in between that. But it's okay. Again, we're embracing the imperfections. I can go over that with some paint. Okay, and then this page, we'll just, yeah. So make sure you put something in between it so it don't be like me. Okay, hold on. Now, speaking of label, actually, there is something I want to add on here. Do you remember that in my last video? These oranges. I actually like this label where it says Vintage Sweets. And I've been wanting to use it exactly as this label. Okay. I'm going to put that on there real quick. The netting right there. Oh, you know what would really look good? Oh, if I got some white paint. Hold on. You guys see, I'm telling you, I just kind of go with the flow. And I apologize if I feel like a chaotic mess again. That's why I don't do a lot of these journal with me's, because I don't know how they're going to turn out. Oh, shoot. Hold on. The net that I just tore, those red pieces just fell on here. Oh well, I guess it's just part of the look. Again, this is a junk journal. It's just going to add to it's going to give it some character. I'm going to get my tea here. And I like this Vintage Sweets. I think what I'm going to do, okay, yeah, I'm getting my finger. I kind of like the way it looks when I just rub it like that. and it's going to be the background. Let's see. Okay. Okay, let me just spread it a little bit more so it kind of blends in a little bit. Okay. Let me get my water actually. Okay, I kind of like how that looks. Now this is, yeah, where the Mod Podge would come in handy versus a glue stick, because you need, I feel like you would need like, yeah, this glue's stronger. What I'm going to do, actually, I can go over it so that way it seals. Oh, my hands are. But you know what would look really good? Let me get some chalk, or not chalk. I'm trying to make this video without as many edits. I want to show you guys just all of the steps, like imperfections and all, how my mind works. Okay, again, speaking of Michaels, you can see these are the wax pastel set. I should close this glue. And I'm going to go over this with gray. Wait, which one's gray? Oh, maybe I don't have a gray. Oh, it's purple. Oh, yeah, it's black. Okay, let's try this blue. I'll show you what I'm envisioning in my mind. I know this is probably not dry, but oh. I'm going to just draw over this and just make it look crafty. Oh, okay. Let me wipe some of that glue off. And paint. Goodness, it's a mixture. It's a mess. So now it kind of just looks like a label on here. Vintage Sweets. I think this needs a little bit more blue on this side. Okay. And you know what? One rule that I give myself is not to force the actual outcome to be complete at that moment. I can always build upon this. So it may not look that great now to you, and maybe to me. I'm like, I'm questioning it. But in time, I'm sure it will just like, I can build upon it. Like if you ever look at my Moleskine videos, the covers, I always usually start off with just like one sticker or one label. And then in time, it kind of just developed. Because down here, it looks so bare. Just as I was telling you, don't force the process. I could have put this mountain. No, I don't like that. There's tissue paper in my box, but it's pink. Oh, actually, you know what? Hold on. Let me get my treasure chest. It's the same one that I showed in my last video, but it's too big. For some reason, my artistic mind is trying to be drawn to like the clashing. Like I want some type of contrast. So like this pink really kind of sticks out and it's like different. But then, okay, I could put a little bit more pink there and then I could put some blue here. I think this is the part that really takes the longest when it comes to like journal with me. It's me like humming and hawing over like where the placement of certain things should go. No, I don't like that. I kind of like how that, what do you think? I think, but that looks a little too uniformed. Okay, hold on, let me get this. I just not, I don't know why, but I'm kind of liking that pink right there. So this is still wet. I'm not gonna, this still has like Mod Podge and paint, so I'm just gonna use that and go over this. The reason why I don't mind the extra water, again, I'm not a professional junk journaler. This is just from my experience. But the reason why I don't mind mixing the Mod Podge with water is because when this dries, it won't be so stiff, and hopefully the journal will still be like moldable. Because what I've experienced in the past is if I just strictly use the Mod Podge, my composition cover is like so stiff. And in the past, when I use a little bit of water, it made it flexible because the glue wasn't as, I guess it just didn't stay on as, like it didn't dry as like rock hard. I know it's getting dark now, but I'm really liking how actually, see how I got it wet and it just kind of, don't look at this side just because that's the back. But I kind of like how this is looking now. Right here in the corner, you know what I'm going to do? Actually, hold on. Right there in the corner, it needs a little pop. So, hold on. Remember this? Okay, these stamps. I think, hold on. I want pink, pink, pink. I think I'm going to use this. I'm trying to work fast because, again, this Mod Podge is working against me. It's going to, start drying up. So I'm trying to think of all of the paper bits I want to add on here before this glue is setting. Okay, I can put, oh, what do you guys think? I could put that here in the corner because it looks like a stamp, right? That's cute. I think that's cute. Or I could put it right here on the bottom or here. Oh geez, so many placement options. What do you think? Should I put it here on the bottom? Should I put it here in the corner? I feel like I should go somewhere. Maybe here in the middle. Okay, you know what? Maybe, oh no, I don't think that looks good. Maybe I'll put it like that underneath it. Underneath it, yeah, that looks good underneath it. Okay, this I can maybe just use my glue stick. I don't want to get too carried away. And I left a little bit of the pink right here, so it just adds that like little pop of color. The Vintage Sweets, I'm trying to think, do I want to add a little bit more blue to this corner? I have actually a little bit of, okay, hold on. Some, oh, that's a different blue. That was the wrong blue. Was that? Oh no. I just have some sparkle bits. I'm just throwing everything at this cover. We're just, having a good old time here. I like how right here, this blend, like it kind of blends in. Let me dip my finger in and see if I could do that effect. Oh yeah. Oh, I like that. Okay, I just got my finger. I kind of like that actually better. What if I went, oh, well, there you go. I'm just going to blend all of this. And the blue just kind of now push that up a little bit. Oh, I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone. I don't want to disrupt it, but I'm really loving how this tissue paper effect turned out. Okay, now that ripped. Hold on, I'm gonna make sure I have enough Mod Podge, because again, the top part already had some. Okay, let me look at my sparkles. Sparkle bits right here. I kind of feel like the purple, ooh, these butterflies look nice. Maybe just a couple butterflies. That would look really nice. Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? Perfect. I like how those just landed there in the corner. That's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my Mod Podge, but hold on. Let me get a smaller brush like this. And I'm going to put these butterflies in the corner. And I'll show you what I mean. Like right here where the tissue paper is at, I'm going to plop that. Okay. And I should get my tweezers, but it's okay. We're not here about the perfect process. That butterfly's upside down. Oh great, now that just got covered. You know what, I'm trying to plop them. However they want to fall, they'll fall. Yeah. Okay, once this dries, then I'm gonna shake this off and then we'll see how it looks. I should probably put some butterflies here in the corner. Or maybe I should do a different sparkle. You guys, I'm doing the most, even though I said I'm trying not to do the most. Okay, let's just baby steps. Okay, I'm gonna get the Mod Podge again, but this time I'm gonna dip it in the glitter like that, and I'm gonna, you know, I kind of scooped it, and then I'm just gonna lightly kind of just dab. You probably can't see because my lighting is not that great right now. The sun is going down, but I'm just dabbing the cover, and then you can see like a little bit of the purple coming through. Again, I'm not really careful with my journaling supplies because, again, these are like student grade, okay? These aren't like professional art supplies, and I just kind of like free flow. That's what makes it fun. I don't have to be too delicate with these budget-friendly crafting items. Am I done? Am I sure I'm done? As I'm looking at my craft box, still, you guys, I keep seeing things, and now I'm looking at these fabric pieces, and I'm like, oh, I should cut this. And I really like how this ribbon looks. Maybe the ribbon could be on the spine. Ooh, hold on, let me cut this. I might have to edit this as long as this is getting... We're like probably over an hour. What else do I have here? I have like this. Oh, I like this. This blue and pink. Wow, how perfect that it kind of works out. It matches. Should I glue this here on the edge? Or should I glue this here on the bottom? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I like it on the bottom. Kind of looks like a table runner. How cool is that? Okay, I really like it right there on the bottom. Hold on, let me snip it. I'm getting carried away. I just said I don't want to get carried away, but I can't help but to just keep going on and on and on. You know, this was totally unplanned. Well, what was planned was me doing the cover and using the envelope, but I was going to just stop at the envelope and the vintage sweets. So in a way, having you kind of here with me to hang out and me talk out loud, I think it's just doing something to me creatively, where it's just sparking like my creative mojo. Can you see this? Ah, that is so fun. Wow, okay, I like how I'm already getting use of all of my crafting supplies. And then I have this. I think this is so pretty. Should I use it on the top? Oh my gosh, I could layer it. Yes. Okay. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so glad you guys are here with me to see how this cover came to life. So that way, when you see it featured in my other videos, and you're like, how did you make that cover? Oh goodness. You can watch it from the very beginning. But I guarantee you, if you're doing this process yourself, like just, you know, art journaling or creating, your flow will find you. Trust me, it will find you. And I always use my Moleskine Expanded as a reference because that's where I discovered, you know, like where my true muse, you know, comes from. It's kind of just creating in private, or creating like the creative magic just happens when there's no expectations. Like I was saying in my last video, when there's no pressure, when no one is really expecting anything out of, you know, your performance, the performance comes out better. It's just so interesting. So you can start off small and then just build upon it, and it will come together. You know, I just realized I could have used my fabric. I have Fabri-Tac. Hold on, let me show you. It's really good for, hence the name, fabric. So I could have used that here. I didn't think about that. I was so wrapped up in the Mod Podge. And actually, I'm going to use that now. Hold on, let me close this. I'm going to use that now because I'm going to snip another portion and put it on the top. Hold on. Oh wait, yeah. Wait, did I do it the right side? Okay. I think if I did these little dingles, the little, let me see. I have to place everything down. What do you think? It's like giving it bangs. It has a little fringe bang. Or maybe, or okay, how about this? How about I just use a different type of ribbon? This pink one. Okay, maybe that could work. Going with a complete different color. Or, hold on. I mean, I have another treasure chest full of ribbon. You do not want me to get that out. I'm just using what I have right here. Okay, let's go with that. Let's just do it. I'm really drawn to this. And this is really good for like fabric. Again, like if you don't have a sewing machine, you can use this, but it also holds well with, what does it say? Does it say, it's really just made for like, oh, like here, glass, lace, leather, wood, and trimming. But you don't have to get this. You could use, again, Mod Podge. The glue stick, I guess you could use the glue stick, but if you want something a little bit more permanent, I would recommend something like this. It's sealed, it's done. I'm going to let this rest now. This glue needs to set, it needs to rest. All right, so while this is slowly coming together and drying, before I let this set for the rest of the evening, I'm actually going to get some paint here. And I've showed this little hack before where I just paint, I just paint the rim of the lid and I create these little circles. And I kind of want that here so that way it kind of balances out where that stamp is at. Oh, can you see it? Hold on, let me put a little bit more paint. I gotta hurry and wash the rest of my brushes. Okay, so just twist it like that. I'm gonna do another one like that. Okay, I think that looks good. Okay, I'm checking in because I guess apparently I'm not done. I have more ideas coming through my head, and I just realized, remember right here where I messed up and I didn't let this dry? Well, I can use that pink tissue paper and cover this. But first, I need a little snack. Well, more like dessert. Hope you don't mind. I'm going to share with you one of my, is it really a guilty pleasure? I think it's kind of just like a healthy alternative. Instead of having like pudding or something too sugary, this still gets in my protein because I am using Greek yogurt and I'm going to flavor it. Sometimes I put some chia seeds in here, but I'm not going to tonight. Yeah, and if you're wondering why am I using my teacup, I didn't think about this poor design choice, but it doesn't make for a really great cup to drink out of because these petals here, wherever you sip, I don't know, it just kind of, it, you know, it's not the best sipping edge right here because it'll just run down your chin. Okay, so I'm just going to sprinkle on a little bit of, let me get my other spoon here. Sorry. Probably about a teaspoon of, you can use like regular peanut butter. I use powdered peanut butter. If you don't like peanut butter, you can use cocoa powder if you have that. or maybe you don't even have to use that. Just eat the Greek yogurt like this. But this is just if I want a little bit of sweetness and I have a sweet tooth, which I do. And then some strawberry jam or any type of fruit preserves. This I like doing myself because if you get the yogurt at the store, at the grocery store that has the fruit, I don't know, I feel like it has a little bit more sugar. It doesn't taste as good. So as you can see, I was needing to use this, and it's an excuse to wash this out, use this as a pen holder, but also I'm going to try to peel this sticker and use this in my junk journal. Ooh, it's too cold. I can tell this is already going to be hard to take off. So I might just have to keep it on here and just store it for my pens and pencils. But yeah, this is yummy. I found this at, I think, Home Goods. And then all I do is just pretty much mix this up. I know this part's not the pretty part, but and there you have it. Now it looks like it's a Cold Stone creation. All right, I am now re-energized, recharged, finished my yogurt dessert. I had to charge the phone because I didn't realize my battery was running low. So let's go ahead and tear this tissue paper and cover this part right here. The lighting, as you can see, it's later in the evening, so if you see the shadows casting here, that's why. I was inspired to use this tissue paper because as I was waiting for the cover to dry, which I think came out beautifully, I'll have to show you during the day in the natural sunlight, but I'm pleased with it because, you know, I think it's very fitting of this junk journal. It's definitely like junky looking. Right here, there's like this little bit of tissue paper that was on the edge, and then I realized, oh, I could just flip it over. And that's when I realized that I could just cover those white spots right here with the tissue paper. I could use my scissors to cut it, but I don't really like a uniformed look. And I'm just gonna tear these. Go over this. I don't mind using this side of the journal because I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do there, which magazine I decided to go with. I'm gonna, cover it. I'm so glad I'm able to get rid of this junk slowly but surely. It feels good finally using it up and putting it to good use. It's like it has a second life. It has purpose. I'm gonna fold that over. Oh, I like how this is looking. I know, again, with the lighting, it seems a little dim because, you know, I'm just taking you along with my process, and it's nighttime. While this is kind of drying, I'm going to go back to, let me see, those magazines, these ones right here, and I'm going to use this. I really like the way this looks right here, the cover. So look through those flyers that you have. Sometimes if you're at the grocery store, they have like flyers by the door for free. Or maybe at your workplace, if you work like in an office, maybe, or next time maybe you're at the doctor's office or the dentist's office or your hair salon. Maybe ask if, you know, they would be willing to let you take one of their magazines. I'm sure they wouldn't miss one. But of course, ask. Do people even buy magazines anymore? I know Barnes & Noble sells magazines, but I never see anyone really buying magazines anymore because all that information that magazines offered, you can just get online. Oh, I like that. I'm trying to think if I should put a color in this background. Let me see. Actually, I could use this. This was the front part. Okay, hold on. Or maybe I could just... Oh, kind of neat. I kind of like how that looks. Oh, I could layer it on top like that. Okay, I like that. It's like 2 in 1. Oh, I really, really like that. So we'll start with this part right here. Okay, so I glued this down, and then we'll glue this right here. Oh, okay, so this part, this is a little extra. I could just turn this over. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's just turn this over here. Instead of wasting that, it'll just come onto the next page. I'm not so concerned about like the edges not being perfect. Like right here, I could see there's like a little bit of extra on the top, and that's okay. And then we'll just glue this part. Let me use the back of this. I'm really surprised at how much I was able to use without, like, I was able to get done without using as much junk as I thought. Like, I still haven't cracked open my other treasure chest. Oh, I kind of like how this blends in, like, seamlessly. What I was thinking about doing here, I want to put like some type of pocket as well. Oh, hold on, let me put some more tissue paper for the pockets, so that way when I find paper ephemera that I want to use sooner rather than later, I can stick it in here, and that way it's like in my face. Because if it's not, again, out of sight, out of mind, and I'll forget about it, or somehow it'll just get lost in my treasure chest, my boxes. So I'm gonna press that there, and then, okay, I'll just tear the rest. For the pocket, I was thinking about using this, one of those junk mailer envelopes, and this is another one, Costco. I thought about keeping this end because then I can use this reason to love, another reason to love. Or I could use this window. Would the white look good, or should I use the yellow? I kind of like the yellow. Oh, but I already cut that side. Hold on. Let me think. I brainstorm. How? So if I cut... I like how it says inside time sensitive information here. So I want to kind of cut that and put it here. Okay, let's try that. Let's try that. Okay, I don't want to overthink this. It's not meant to be complicated. It's because I already cut this part open for whatever document was inside. And I want this to be like a pocket sleeve. So what I could do, I could just tape this side right here, and then whenever I want to tip in, like slide in ephemera, it could just go here, but I could still see the picture here. Oh yeah, okay, let me find some washi. Hold on, let me see. My washi bin is on the other side. I know it would look a lot neater if I had them, you know, like this. And I did have it like that at one point, but I'm always using these, you know, for my pen pals and to cover envelopes, that they just kind of get messy here. All right, so the color, I kind of wanted to blend in. Oh, okay, the red could kind of work. This gray. What do you think? Okay, I think, you guys, it shouldn't be that complicated, right? Let's just go with this. Okay. What's nice about washi tape is right here is that it's not exactly permanent, but it's still pretty, like, for a good branded washi tape, the hold is still strong enough where it sticks and it remains. So now I can actually just turn this over if I wanted to see the full image, but I have a little pocket so I can tip stuff in here. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, so there we go. We have a little envelope, and then I can still keep this inside time-sensitive information. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me take this out right now and put it, I mean, technically that is time-sensitive information, right? So I could put it there. However, I want that pop behind it, that contrast. So you already know what I'm about to do. Let me grab my paint. I need to do these journal with me's more often because having you here keeping me company is actually, this is coming out way more creative than I think if I was just not sharing the process. So thank you for inspiring me to share. I hope this is helping you as well. Time sensitive information. I could just keep it right here on the edge. I think I want a little bit more. What's nice about doing the paint over my finger is that I don't have to wash the bristles of the paintbrush. It's a lot easier to just wipe my hand, and then when I'm done, I'll just wash it with soap. Oh yeah, okay, I like how that looks. I think maybe it could use a little bit more white paint in the corner. Okay. There we go. I'm not going to fuss over the details. And now we're just going to plop that on there, and I'm going to show you the back side of the junk journal and how I'm going to cover the timetable on the back. Because eventually I'm probably going to add a pocket there too. Oh, yep, I like how that looks. Inside, time-sensitive information. Yeah, technically that will be time-sensitive information because it will be ephemera bits that I want to use sooner rather than later. And then this, I will write maybe some type of thing on here like, welcome to my chaotic art space or something. Ooh, this is already looking very, very good. On the back, where is it? I actually was thinking about using my watercolor to cover this right here, but I remembered I had this, let me show you. I had this plastic bag that I liked. It says, thank you, gracias, which is thank you in Spanish. And then have a nice day. So I scanned this paper bag, and I'm actually gonna put this on the back because I think it's really fitting. Once you get to the end, it's like, thank you. And that's kind of like your shopping experience. Like once you've checked out, right, you get the thank you bag. So that's kind of like my thought process of why I chose this. And I printed it on a label sticker sheet, which saves you time from, trying to use that glue stick. So I think, oh, hold on. I just realized what I could do. I could have glued that down and secured that. Hold on. Okay. Just enough to, there we go. Get it down. Now this is a slightly larger than the composition because this is A4 size, these pages. And then I can just trim the back here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to save, okay, you saw that part where I peeled off, right? The release paper. Hold on. I'm going to save this because this could actually be your own DIY sticker release paper. And you can tape this here. We'll cut it down right here. Tape it here. And then if you find, you know, little stickers from packages, but you don't want to put it in your journal just yet, put it on here and it will be a sticker release paper. Or you can cut it down to whatever size notebook you're using. I think that is going to be it for now. Oh, speaking of mailers, yeah, I don't want to forget this. I kept this out for a reason. Right here it says save, spend life happy. So I want to use this. I don't want to forget this happy phrase. Spend life happy. Yes, happy crafting. I'm going to use that. And then every day I kept this because I wanted to use that wording every day. I like the font on this new, so I'm going to save that. Oh no, I cut a little bit of the E. Oops, I was cutting too fast. I'm trying to talk and walk. You most spend life happy every day. Yeah. And then here I saw this mailer from Lens Crafters, enhance your vision and style. Enhance. I like that. I feel like it's very fitting for this junk journal. Enhance your vision, like how you see art and creation, and your style, the style that you create in. So I'm enhancing it. I think that's really fitting. So I'm going to put that there. Enhance, spend life happy every day. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can cover this white space, actually. What do you think? Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Okay. Kind of like the pink. Spend life happy every day. Yes. And then I'm gonna use this orange, or should I use this yellow? Maybe I'll use both. Make little rays like the sun. Oh, that looks good. Now I'll put like a little bit of orange. I think this is pretty good. I'm gonna get some rest now. I've really done more than I expected, which is good. Okay, let me know your guys' thoughts on this video. Should I cut some of the details out? I feel like maybe doing it in real time, it makes it too long. Or maybe you guys don't mind it being long if I have a topic I could discuss. So leave suggestions down below, maybe a Q&A or a particular topic I could talk about in the next video. Or maybe you guys just like to hear me think out loud. It's totally up to you, because you know I'm kind of doing this process video for you guys. You guys said you wanted to see this. If not, I would just be doing this by myself in silence, or watching YouTube. Oh, I like how I kind of went over that. Wow, I really like how that looks. Looks so playful, looks so fun, looks very carefree and freeing. Okay, I'm gonna wait till the morning so we could see how this looks in the natural light. Good morning, it's the next day. I am going to take a look at the art journal now that we have some natural sunlight working with us, to see how that cover turned out. I already took a glimpse at it at the table, and I think, I don't know, it's looking a little much, maybe because I'm not used to seeing it. So I'm going to walk you through my thought process, and yeah, I'm going to see if I'm content with it or if it needs a little bit of zhuzhing up or maybe a little bit more improvement. So apologies for my scratchy voice. Again, I just woke up, but this is usually what I do on the weekends. You know, journaling is life. I start my morning journaling, writing out my thoughts or crafting. And this weekend I am crafting. And after I do a little crafting, I'm going to treat myself to some breakfast at a local cafe, and then I might stop by the bookstore and treat myself to some new books. Or just sometimes I even get that dopamine hit just strolling around the bookstore and seeing what's there without actually buying anything. Sometimes that just makes my day too. It's a little joys in life. But let me bring you to the table. Okay, this is how she is looking now. This is the natural sunlight here with my window open, and I was pleasantly surprised. The glitter, it stayed on pretty well with that Mod Podge. You could see there isn't that residue that comes off, which sometimes with glitter it can get like that, and it can be a little, you know, messy with all the flakes falling, but the Mod Podge did a really good job at keeping it on there. Oh, you may have noticed that this cover looks different. I added, last night before I went to bed, I added one more strip of the pink tissue paper because this blue, I think I went a little overboard. I mean, that's just my initial impression. I think I went overboard with the blue a little bit because my eye was just, I found this too distracting. And then I went back over with my white paint and my paintbrush, and then I drew on a little frame, a border. But I think I'm going to add a few more additions to the cover. It's definitely giving a lot of glam. It's definitely in your face, but I think that's what's fun about this journal is that when I look at this, I'll, you know, have memories of the journey, and you were part of the journey with me. But this is all made from scratch, or from trash. Well, yeah, from scratch. Scraps, scratch, and from trash. I really like how this bubble mailer texture feels. It's very soft and squishy, and I kind of wish I would have had like a bubble mailer here in the front, but that's okay. This is fine because you can still see the imprint, but this is so soft and squishy. And then I had to add some tape here on the back because when I went to go fold this, the paper actually ripped here, and I think I put too much water with the Mod Podge, but that's okay. I kind of like how this turned out. It's like some type of, let me show you the tape. This is the tape that I use, just some type of regular craft tape. But what was interesting is that it turned gray because I had this sitting by my window and the sun discolored the front strip here. So it actually is supposed to be like this tan color or like sand, but you can see right here it got discolored, and that's why it looks gray, but it's supposed to be this tan. So I like that. It's all part of the story. Now, before I begin my day, I want to share the process of how I'm going to update this, along with some stickers that I kind of rummaged through my stash, and I think I'm going to add on to the journal. Okay, so going back to this tape, now that I have this pink, I was thinking about adding like a very thin line of this packing tape just because, I don't know, I feel like it looks a little bit more crafty. I kind of like that tape there because it looks scrappy. Just modify this to how you would want to decorate it. And if you are following along, please, you know, share your process. Maybe tag me if you are doing a video or a flip through, or if you're on Instagram. I'm not really on Instagram much, but yeah, tag me. I'd love to see. I think I kind of like it like this. And the other touch I'm going to add a few more things, a few more additions for today. Now, I know I'm going to work on my pages, but this cover was one of the biggest hurdles I wanted to get through. If you have a Five Below in your area, that's what the store is called, Five below, like $5 below. It's supposed to be everything in the store is $5 and below. So it's kind of like the dollar store, but they have these cute packs of stickers. And they also have, if you love Peanuts and Snoopy, definitely check them out because they have a lot of cute merchandise there. I picked up the canvas bag. I picked up a little notebook. Oh, you know what? Now that I have you here, let me show you my Instagram reels and on my YouTube shorts. I shared it, but this was, I think, like $4 maybe. And it has 96 sheets here. And I think I tested this with my pens on the back to see if it worked well with dark gel inks. Somewhere. Where did I test it? I'm pretty sure I tested it. Either way, ballpoint, if worst comes to worst. This is just a regular, like, colorful gel pen from Rifle. Is it Rifle Company? Rifle Paper Company? Yeah. So it's beautiful. What I really like are these little dividers here on the top. You have Woodstock and Snoopy. So this divider, oh my gosh, look how cute this is. This is nice because if I technically wanted to, I was thinking about like cutting this out and using these as my like ring bound dividers, like for my Filofax. And then, you know, I could still use this paper, or I could even use this because it's kind of like a flexi plastic. You could even like take one of these out and maybe like glue them on top of any journal that you want, like an A5 journal, or you know, you can pretty much slim it down to any dimension, but you could use this for any notebook here. So I'm definitely glad I grabbed this. The Peanuts Social Club. This look, wow, wouldn't that look cool if I put that on a journal? Like a composition journal? I thought about that, but I didn't. I wanted to, you know, exercise my creativity and create this cover using, you know, paper junk. So Five Below, they have these sticker packs. Did I see the Snoopy? No, I don't think they had Snoopy stickers, but they had like the Care Bear from the 90s. Do you remember that? Oh my goodness, so cute. And then strawberry shortcake. But a few stickers that I picked out. This was from the Care Bear pack, this little star. And then this was from the strawberry shortcake, this pink cat. And that's where I think I'm going to add this to the cover, just to make it a little extra. Because this blue, it really kind of ties in with where I went crazy with the crayon there. And last night I was again going through my stickers. I'm like, maybe that could work. So it kind of blends in. And then I'm going to put the blue star right beneath it. So yes, I'm using up my stickers. So proud of myself. And then here's a closer look at how the butterflies look. Oh, and then the glitter, I just kind of, extended it more out from this little bunch, this corner, and then you can see the top. The ribbon, like the Fabri-Tac glue is really, really good. It's very strong and sturdy, so I highly recommend getting that if you can, or if you know that you're going to be gluing just like weird miscellaneous things. Because you could even use the Fabri-Tac glue to, I imagine, put like buttons on here or beads. So this is how it's coming together. But I wanted to show you also how I use just like tape runners. You can use, of course, your glue stick, but something like this, again, this was from the Five Below, I think, was this from the canvas bag that I got? But, you know, I like the tag, and this is perfect to add in the junk journal. So here's a page that I have where I'm just putting in just randomness. This was left from the bubble mailer. This was from that advertisement. And then this is from some butter lettuce that I had that I finished for dinner. And then with the tape runner, it's nice because you can just put on a couple strips and it's really secure. So I'll just add this right here. I just really like that tag there. And speaking of Five Below, if you are into washi, like washi tape, they have this beautiful 5-count set. And I'm going to add this actually in my journal. Start a page. Ooh, I gotta get to this. That's another thing too. Sometimes if I don't want to forget a project that I have in mind, I'll slip in that ephemera, and then when I flip through it, it'll like spark my memory, which just happened right now. The washi tape, this is gonna be my washi tape spread. And this is a great practice for you to do, like if you're listening to some type of video like mine that's really long and lengthy, and you just kind of want to just fidget with your hands or craft along, get your washi tape collection or sticker collection, really, or anything actually, and you can actually just start like an archive of a visual archive of what you have, like it's inventory, I guess, of your stock. So I'm going to do that off camera, but basically I'm just going to rip out some strips here, and I'm going to just put them, you know, on the spread. So I'll share it with you in my next chatty, lengthy journal with me, how that's going to turn out. But I did want to share with you these washi tapes. The shiny one, I'm trying to find the end. This is nice too if you want to like decorate snail mail, or decorate your postcards, or even like your journal pages. It'll add like a nice pop to it. This one, and I really like how this composition is blank versus having all the lines, because for a spread like this, I don't want to be distracted by the designs. So you can see here, this has, it's, you know, see-through right here. It's clear. So when you put it over the page, you'll have like these pink stripes. And then this one has, I believe they're like little coffee cups or tea cups. And this is clear as well. So you can layer this or put this on top of something else. Or if you have like colored paper. Look at that. That is so cute. Yep. So definitely happy I have that. I might go back and get another roll actually, now that I'm looking at this. I forgot how pretty these were. Because I didn't realize how these looked until I got home, and then I peeled it and tested it. Because I didn't realize these were flowers until I came home, and I was like, oh wow, this kind of just looked like a weird design. But it's like this pretty floral design here. This pink like mauve. Look how nice that looks. And then last is this one. I really like this. That would look really pretty too, decorating. So yeah, check out 5 below. One last thing, I guess now that I have you here and I showed you how this scrap was, this was from one of my pen friends, and I love this paper bag. Of course, you know I'm not going to use it. I'm just holding on to it. I'm hoarding it. So I intend on taping this in. I was thinking about like just putting the tape here and just gluing it, but I also want memories of like the source. So I could shift it to the side and maybe write, you know, the details of my pen pal that it came from, or my pen friend, or I could just put like maybe washi right here, and then I can flip and have more stuff here, or I could put washi here on the side and I can flip it like this. So yeah, so many options. But what I intend to do is this part, I'm still thinking it through. I could cut this bag in half, use this cover, and then just cover this complete page. And this is going to be like my orange theme. So lately I've been seeing a lot of orange, and you know that saying, or it's almost like, you know, when you buy something, then you notice everyone has it. Like if you are buying a particular car, everyone has that car. Or if you buy a particular, I don't know, maybe like handbag or a pair of shoes, you notice it more, like your awareness is like heightened, I guess. So I just, in this season, I've really been drawn to like orange, like orange leathers, just orange tangerines, mandarins, just kind of like orangey things. And actually, now that I'm speaking of orange, I just noticed in my washi pile, I have orange. Oh, this is perfect timing. So I'm going to put this in my project spread, and this is going to be dedicated to orange. Yeah, so I'm probably going to paint or add this in here. But off camera, what I'm going to do, just because, gosh, you guys, this is turning into a movie, I'm going to use my gouache. And when I say this is student grade, literally, I mean like I'm using student grade gouache from Michaels. Okay, it's just like your affordable pack right here. I think $5 with my Michaels coupon, if that. And I've had this palette for years, What I like about gouache is that you can just activate it with water. Unlike acrylic, once you set it, it's hard, it dries out, you can't reapply it. Watercolor is a little too, light, but I feel like gouache is like, for me, I have more fun because you can make it as light as you want, you can make it dark, and then when you put water, like if I got my water brush and I start swirling it in here, the paint will be activated and I can use it. So the gouache lasts a lot longer. I'm going to probably paint the edges right here like an orange warm color and put all my orange themed stuff that I am just noticing that I have in my treasure chest. So I have this washi tape, and then I also saw this in my pantry. I had some orange extract. Yeah, I'm going to cut this out and put it there. And then I was going through, remember, you guys, the orange, where is it? This part right here. I'm going to cut that out, and I'm going to put, I think I might even keep the net just for some extra, yeah, for some extraness. That, and then this right here. I noticed it has the orange. Have fun doing that. After the washi, okay, so yeah, this week I'm going to work on the orange spread, and then I'm going to work on the washi spread, and then what I'm also going to work on is my tea bag spread. And I would share this with you, but you guys, it's really, you're literally just going to watch me just stick and glue on here. So there's really no creative process behind it. Pretty much this is the orange spread. The washi tape, I'm literally just going to grab strips and just paste, glue, stick it on there. And then the tea spread, I'm going to go through my tea bag collection and just stick it on there. So that is not, worthy of your time, I don't believe. But if you don't have tea bags, just find any type of packaging that you like, and I'm just gonna stick that junk in there and get it going. Break this notebook in so that way it just feels already, broken in, and it starts to get personalized. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot to ask you, should I add these pen loops on here? I was going through, again, my stash because I'm trying to use everything, and I saw that this actually matches perfectly, this blue and this pink. So I could put these pen holders right here on the back, and then I can put one right here like on the inside, and it can hold like two different pens here, but I could also use these as charm holders. So I can put these here and then use like little keychain, like those little ball keychains, and put charms. Or is that again doing too much? I don't know, you guys tell me. I kind of like the way it looks because it matches perfectly with the theme. Or should I just keep it off? Yeah, you let me know. Put the pen loops on or off? On or off? Yeah, let me know, and I will go with the most popular decision. Either or works.